today, a girl's self-esteem peaks in the 4th grade when she is just 9 years old. I'm Jenny Johnson for Comcast Newsmakers on stage at Suffolk University's Modern Theater in downtown Boston. The executive director of Strong Women, Strong Girls, Boston, Siiri Morley, is here to share how the organization confronts this issue. Welcome, Siiri.
Thank you, Jenny.
So let's start by sharing the founding story of Strong Women, Strong Girls.
So Strong Women, Strong Girls was started informally as a student organization at Harvard in 2000. Our founder, Lindsay Hyde, was a student there, and she was really committed to combating that statistic that you just mentioned and wanted to do something as a college student to support young girls in the greater Boston community. She couldn't find any programs that she could be part of as a mentor, so she decided to create Strong Women, Strong Girls on her own.
So what was the early experience at Harvard that led to Strong Women, Strong Girls to becoming more than just a student group?
Well, it was some early supporters, some women in the community who believed in Lindsay and her vision. One of those women was the principal at Mason Elementary in Roxbury, where the program was started with only 6 mentors and 30 girls. And another was a woman named Linda Babcock, who authored the book Women Don't Ask. And Linda saw a lot of potential in Lindsay. She learned about her from some PR she had gotten. And she really took Lindsay under her wing, and by the time she was graduating said that she wanted to help her create this into something more than a student group and into a nonprofit. So the organization was born in 2004.
And so over a decade later, here you are. So give us an idea of how the program actually really works now.
Yeah, so now we are serving 750 girls in grades 3, 4, and 5 in the greater Boston area. We have 60 mentoring sites that range from Malden and Somerville to Jamaica Plain, Roxbury, Dorchester. We work with these pre-adolescent girls in a group mentoring setting, and we leverage the volunteer work of 350 college women from throughout Boston. We work with 6 colleges, and they meet in an after-school setting. They walk through a curriculum on a weekly basis, and the curriculum's focused on female role models and skill building. So one example of that is we featured Malala from Pakistan, the girl who's become famous for her advocacy for girls' education. The related skill for Malala was bravery, and so the girls read her bio, they learned about the skill, and they thought about how could they be brave and courageous in their own lives, and how could that transform the community. We pair that after school mentoring with field trips as well to college campuses to increase girls' aspirations.
That is wonderful to hear a little bit about how the program actually works.
Yeah.
Give us a picture of what the short-term goals are as well as the long-term successes.
So short term, I always describe it as we're working to try to fortify girls to be able to create some armor around their self-esteem when they're young, because as you stated, it's naturally high when we work with them. So we are taking a preventative approach to supporting girls in keeping that self-esteem within them. So short term, you know, I want to see girls finishing our program, believing in themselves, having really broad dreams. Long term, when I think about what long-term success looks like, I'd love to be in my 70s and look at the greater Boston area and see our girl alums leading the city. I'd love to see them in politics, in business, nonprofits, and ultimately even my job one day. It would be, that to me would be the greatest testament of success, because I view them as the future leaders of the city.
Well, you have an interesting perspective because you have some international experience as well as, of course, your local work. So what have you learned specifically about the challenges that women and girls face?
I've learned that they're very broad. As you know, as any woman knows, no matter where you have been born, you know, there's so many different challenges that face women and girls. And a lot of people see my former work internationally and my current work locally in Boston as being very distinct, but I see all the work we're doing as part of a greater movement to support women and girls and being able to seize all the opportunities they want. A lot of people think internationally, you know, things are more dire and important, and yet there's often very subtle challenges women and girls are facing here in the United States. So all the work I've done is really about investing in women and girls to create more opportunity for not just themselves, but their communities as a whole.
So Siiri, for people watching that want to invest in girls and the community as a whole, how do they learn more about it, and how do they get involved in the Boston community?
We have a lot of ways that people can get involved. We have so many opportunities for adult volunteers. People can mentor, they can volunteer, they can donate, of course. We have corporate sponsorship opportunities. So if people go to SWSG.org, our website, and click on Take Action, they can find a whole menu of opportunities.
All right, well, Siiri, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Jenny Johnson.